you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the Cake Dive, and I hope y'all are doing well because today we're gonna be digging into some tea. Now, we don't always dig into tea. I can't say that because we just did like the Ice Spice video like a few weeks ago, so I can't lie. But we will be talking about some tea again. We're talking about DDG and Halle Bailey breaking up and the stuff on that and how people feel about that, the deep dive, and my thoughts, of course. So, for those who don't know, DDG is a YouTuber. He is known for like his prank videos, his it's me trying to pretend like I know who DDG is. Like I've heard like from the Cake Diver perspective, I only know of DDG through Halle, I can't lie. And like some of the clips I've seen from his videos on TikTok. So I can't lie that I actually know what that man does. It seems like from the outside view, from what I've seen, from my TikTok for you page and all that, that man is like a prank slash vlog YouTuber. And he also happens to do music, but he only does like he's known for that like but people make fun of him for that I'm Geekin' song and how he has like 20 versions of the I'm Geekin' song. But that's all I know about him. Everything else I know about that man outside of like, well, that information and then the information that I know about him beyond just him being Halle Bailey's now ex-girlfriend and ex-partner is like by force. Because I literally, for some weird reason, I had a friend who literally would like just for no reason at all, I think just like piss me off, would just send me like videos from like DDG's Snapchat or like photos from the DDG Snapchat story and like just like random clips and stuff like that. So literally everything else that I know about DDG is like by force. And even then I did not retain as much. I retained more from my last exam that I took than what I know about this man. But that's DDG. And then of course you have Halle Bailey. Oh shit, everybody fucking texting me and shit. Hold on, y'all. This is supposed to be a no recording set. I'm joking. But no. We also know who Halle Bailey is. She is the artist. She is known for being one half of Chloe and Halle. She's also been doing her solo music. If y'all don't know me from like my episodes of the Cake Radio Show, y'all probably remember my episode in which I did a deep dive on Chloe and Halle's solo careers and how, you know, people have been very weird with how they've been receptive towards that, and me kind of airing out y'all's dirty laundry, not their dirty laundry, y'all's dirty laundry with how y'all feel about that. But yep, she does her music, she does her solo music, she does her group music with Chloe and Halle. She is also known for her acting roles. Her biggest role was playing Ariel in the Little Mermaid remake, and you know she's still in her acting bag to this day. But like that is what people know her from. And DDG and Halle were like in a relationship, shocking to many people, and you can tell that they both were definitely like in love with each other, at least in some capacity. Halle most definitely was in love with Daryl. Was supposed to love. She was very much in love with Daryl, and you know, it was interesting seeing clips and stuff of like her talking about how they met, how like she fell in love with him, and all that type of stuff, and like a lot of the cute things that like they've said about each other. But you also can't ignore the bad of the relationship. There was a lot of drama that led to a lot of people being aware that they were dating, and allowed a lot of people to very much hate DDG, very much hate Daryl. I'm gonna start calling this man Daryl because that's what Halle be calling him. Plus it removes a little bit of clout. So Daryl allegedly cheated on Halle, and there was like a big drama situation that led to DDG and Halle's relationship to be very high profile and very noticeable now. There was like I believe there were a few women who like posted screenshots and hinted that Daryl was in their DMs, and Halle was like, oh, like everyone was looking at Halle like, Halle, you need to leave him. This is very strange. And Halle was like, y'all like I'm like y'all shouldn't listen to the internet like that. Like everybody just be talking. Oh, like, you know, God got me, the like all that type of stuff. And there's that situation. There's also the I believe it was the hair stylist situation in which her and her sister Chloe were having appointments at this hair salon. It was either a hair salon or a nail tech. But they went into the salon. Chloe arrived on time for her appointment, whereas Halle did not. And the people handling the appointment turned her away because she was not on time. And then Daryl posted on his like social media, I believe it's a Snapchat story, like basically doxing the person's like location, and people were sending threats to like her in the business, the owner in the business, and like those who were working there. And there's those who were doing that, and then there was the like half like everybody who was normal being like, oh, like Daryl, you're kind of weird for this, and like Halle, you're kind of weird for letting this happen. And Halle was basically just kind of like, oh, it's not that serious, y'all are making this bigger than it is. um okay, anyways. um and then there was like the Halloween picture in which Halle and DDG, like they first dressed up as like poetic justice, as like Janet and Tupac in poetic justice, and then they later got flack for their second like Halloween costume in which they dressed up as Bobby and Whitney. And for those who know about Bobby and Whitney, as in Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, they know about how that relationship was very toxic and a little bit abusive. So people, and you know, how their relationship ended very bleakly. So a lot of people were like, why are you romanticizing this relationship that, you know, can be attributed to the loss of one of the greatest gospel artists and one of the greatest artists of our time? So there was a lot of controversies. Then there was also like the Halo situation. And when I mean the Halo situation, I'm not talking about Halle's solo song, which is a bop. I'm talking about Halle's child with DDG, Halo, and how for the longest time Halle was trying to avoid like revealing to us that like she was pregnant. She was still doing like her press tours and stuff for different movies and shows, and she was popping out on red carpets and doing fashion events and all that type of stuff. And people were seeing a little bit of bump, and she was trying to hide the bump, doing photoshops and like doing big puffy dresses and stuff like that, trying to hide the look. And it was very much trying to like, she doing a lot of camera work to try to minimize that. And a lot of people were like, oh, like, why are you trying, like, we know you're pregnant. Like, people were like, we know you're pregnant, like, you don't have to hide it. And there were multiple times which, you know, added fuel to the fire, in which DDG had clips in his videos or had clips on his story that would accidentally show her with the bump, kind of leading people to speculate and like infer that Halle was pregnant with his baby. And, you know, come to find out that was the case. And Halle is out here being like, oh, like, I hid the pregnancy because, like, I feel like the world didn't deserve that. Like, I wanted to come to the world and let them know that I was pregnant and had a baby when I was ready. And now, and everybody around here is like, oh, like, we knew that you were pregnant. And that also kind of sucks. And I guess, and I would also assume that she would feel some type of way about that because, like, you know, we, the public, who does not know either of these people, don't really deserve to know if she was pregnant or not. And I feel like she, like, part of it was like her trying to, you know, not have to have and not have to deal with like the speculation and the rumors and all the drama and stuff that would come out of, you know, her publicly announcing a pregnancy until it was like her time when she was ready. Um, but on the like, I get that, but on the other hand, I also feel as if um she I feel like she low key probably felt upset because she wasn't able to fully do it on her terms because Daryl messed it up. And, you know, everyone was like really focused on her and her body and her pregnancy. So she probably felt some type of way about that. But the baby's here and they split up. not too like several months after the baby. It might have been a year, but like a year or so, more than a year after the baby was born, DDG posted on his story on the 3rd of October of this year. Dear friends and supporters, after much reflection and heartfelt conversations, Halle and I decided to go on our separate ways. The decision was not easy, but we believe it's the best path forward for both of us. I cherish the time we spent together and the love we've shared. Despite the changes in our relationship, our love for each other remains deep and true. We are still best friends and adore each other as we focus on our individual journeys and our role as co-parents. We cherish the bond we've built and the beautiful moments we've shared. As we navigate this transition, we ask for your understanding and support. Thank you for your love and encouragement, DDG. So there on Halle broke up. Twitter is celebrating, and I have thoughts. So the biggest thing that I feel in this situation, like, is at the end of the day, they like I go. We gotta wait and see how like things turn out, because we know how in these relationships, when the celebrity mom breaks up with the husband who is less popular, and like again, like I know I'm like I gotta like yes, DDG is like $1 million, not $1 million. He's like a million subscriber YouTuber, and like he has his clout, but at the end of the day, like he is not that successful or not that known in comparison to Halle Bailey. Like we gotta be real here. Like Beyonce literally signed Halle. Like there is Beyonce clout. As much as I hate bringing up Beyonce in comparison and relevance to Chloe and Halle, there's a cosign that DDG will probably never have. But there is just the truth that like with these relationships in which there's this split, the men always turn weird. Like the men always turn weird. Like the biggest thing that like people are bringing up in comparison to this situation is, the like people use very similar language between these people as misogynoir, because the biggest situation that people are like comparing this to is the Cardi B and Offset situation, because Cardi B has recently divorced Offset. She's been on record saying that she would rather, do something very, very dangerous, to herself than return to Offset. And Offset being weird in the corner, being like, "Oh, but I'm your baby daddy, I won, da 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 da." Like he'd been very weird and gross about it, even though like that's the mother of your children, because they have multiple children. Not saying that might happen with DDG. It seems like Halle is the one taking care of DDG right now, even though they're doing co-parenting and stuff like that. It seems like Halle is the one who is going to be taking care of Halo on a day-to-day basis. It could very well be that DDG turns out being like really weird and being really shady to Halle for no reason. Not hoping that that's the case. I don't hope that's the case. I hope that they're like very normal. I hope that he's very normal about this and continues to give her a lot of love and support, because at the end of the day, that's the mother of your child. But we've seen things like this happen before, so I'm like very wary and worried. The other thing I gotta talk about on the subject is that I feel like, not even I feel like, I know that people are very weird when it comes to like these like people in general, but also these celebrities and like these women turning into like baby mamas, because there's like, I guess like there's this negative perception of baby mamas. And I feel like with these celebrities, like Halle, I'm hearing people on Twitter do this to Halle. I've seen people on Twitter do this to Cardi. Like they are literally like boxing these women in as just baby mamas, and like framing them in this box where they don't really get a lot of room to be human, and they don't get a lot of room to be like, there's like the nuance is stripped out of the situation for them, and they are like essentially punished for being baby mamas compared to the men in the situation where the men get to run off free. With the Offset and like Cardi B situation, people would give Offset like a lot, like people were giving Offset too damn much for a man who was basically a Kia. Like this man, without Cardi B's support, would literally be as successful as like the other surviving Migos that is like do music. Like he would not be charting and making a lot of the moves that he's been able to do without Cardi B, because he knows Cardi B is clout and Cardi B gives him the clout, and that's why there was this repeated cycle of him cheating on Cardi B and them splitting, Cardi B being really upset as she should, him coming back doing very basic apologies and trying to love back up on her. Then he trap her with the baby, another baby, and then they are cool for a couple months, and then he go back to cheating. Like it's this dangerous cycle, and the world seemingly does not hold Offset accountable for being very toxic and like doing these things to Cardi B. And it just seems like some of that language is, but like it just seems like the language that people use to like guilt these women who are in these relationships or are splitting up these relationships for being like single parents or doing co-parenting. Like it's just very odd to me. And like people will be on social media being like, oh, I told you so, like we told you to split up with Daryl and stuff like that. Like there's one thing about celebrating the relationship, because like part of it is funny, part of it is funny, I can't lie. Like part of this, of people celebrating this, like the end of this relationship, is kind of hilarious. But like the people who are like, oh, like we told you so, like, oh, like this is not gonna be good, like y'all gonna be single parents, da 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 da, and being like really weird with the language that they have towards Halle is very odd, because like most of the people on Twitter don't, like their relationships don't be good. Like most of these people be single and like struggling to find a partner because like these men trash. They are they are struggling to like they're in a, or they might be in a relationship and they're struggling because they can't get it right. But like, God forbid Halle Bailey decides to split from Daryl and call it a day and decide to co-parent their kid together. Their one kid that they have together. Like, God forbid. Like, we don't know these people. We don't know Halle. We don't know Daryl. We can talk about Halle and Daryl because that's just what celebrity culture and pop culture has become. We just talk about people. But like, when does it become the point in which we just wrap this up? Because like some of y'all be putting too much stock in this, and really some of y'all be like saying some of the weirdest, most misogynistic things about, you know, these women who are like becoming baby mamas, these women who are becoming single parents and like co-parenting these kids or raising these kids on their own, when the men aren't doing the things they need to do. Because with Daryl's situation, he was the one who cheated allegedly. So like, why aren't people hounding Daryl? Why aren't people hounding Daryl for the split? Because this is most likely his fault. We don't know all the details. We don't know these people, but from the outside looking in, most of these people are not hounding Daryl and asking him the questions as to like, what did he do to fail on this relationship? Everybody's questioning Halle. With the Offset Cardi B stuff, people don't be hounding Offset the way that people hound Cardi B. And part of it is that Barb stuff. Some of them be like really trying to get at Cardi B because like she is the woman and she is the one who is like, who has had beef with Nicki Minaj and all that stuff. So there's that wrinkle in there. But like, even then, most people will be letting the Offset off with a slap of the wrist as if he has not knowingly said and has been on record essentially saying that like he doesn't really do too much to like try to show Cardi that he cares. He just comes back, does the things that he needs to do when he's ready, and then gives her another baby. So like, we should be celebrating these women. Like, shouldn't we be celebrating these women for like leaving? Some of us are. I know with Halle and like some of the people who've been following the Cardi stuff, they've been celebrating the splits. I'm celebrating the splits because like, hey, go y'all. You know, more power to y'all. But like, it's very weird to me that like a lot of people, a lot of men especially, well, I know the men, like the men is not surprising because the men be really weird on here. Like for some reason the men be conservative as hell and be like really cutting up when it comes to women doing anything. Like God forbid a woman breathes and they just like, oh, like, you know, women just like, it's just that type of stuff. But like, it's very odd that like a lot of women out here are also like very, like they're very quote unquote traditional. Like they're very weird in which it's like, oh, like they make fun of baby mamas, they making fun of single parents. Like, oh, like we told y'all, but now y'all stuck with this. Now y'all got to do this. Now this is the thing. When like nobody in this world seemingly is getting dating. I don't know. That's my like very scattered thoughts on this topic. I wish Halle the best in, you know, the split. Uh I hope that the co-parenting stuff like actually goes well. I hope that they have a healthy co-parenting relationship together, you know, because I like they decide they can't really be together. That's completely fine. It's completely natural in a relationship. But you know, hopefully they both can like hopefully both of them, but especially Daryl. I hope Daryl can step up and still be a good father and still show love to the mother of his child in a meaningful way that isn't toxic and embarrassing. And we could just leave it at that. As long as that's it, like we can all breathe happy, y'all. Like, but y'all, everybody else who's not Halle and Daryl, y'all clock into y'all jobs. Y'all subscribe to the Cake Radio Show. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel where you get episodes before anyone else. And if you prefer to listen to this and possibly some other shows that are rolling out on your favorite podcast platforms, be sure to search Cake Radio by CakeDive to get the best by yours truly. That's been all from me. I hope y'all have a good one, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.